Okay, so here's a little behind the scenes of our stop motion Legos animation shoot for Love, Sex, and Marriage. And we thought Legos would be a fun way to do this. There's a Legoland opening here in Kansas City soon. People like playing with Legos. We thought it would kind of cut through the clutter of promotional ideas and give us a fun way to really promote this series in kind of a safe way. We're going to talk about serious issues, but do it in a safe and fun way. So this is our studio where we do a lot of our video shooting, but we set it up as a Legos stop motion studio. And so I thought I'd tell you real quick just some of the process, how we did it. And the first thing we had to do was kind of come up with a concept for what we wanted to do. And we decided to shoot it. We wanted to shoot this like we would shoot a real video. And a lot of stop motion Legos videos that I've seen have a camera shooting down on the action, like when you're playing with Legos, how you'd be looking at it. But when you go see a movie in the theaters, it's never shot like that. Cameras tend to be eye level, straight on, and so that's how we wanted to shoot this. And so to shoot it on a table like this, where we're able to get the camera right at eye level with our actors, with our hero couple, was going to be really important to us in terms of how we shot it and how we told the story. So we wanted to give it that look as much as possible. We found a killer soundtrack. That's so key in something like this. Also, because we're making it more like a music video, we didn't have to do with adding what's called Foley sound, meaning like footsteps and all that stuff. Again, some other videos I've seen, the only sound you ever hear is dialogue, some other Legos animations, and it just sounds weird when all you hear is dialogue and no birds chirping or wind noise or anything. You don't realize until you hear all the sound stripped away how really kind of naked the sound is without that. An easy solution for us was just put music behind the whole thing and don't worry about it. So that's what we did. I raided friends' basements. We've got Legos here, got them over here. We've got Legos back over here. And so to a small degree, what Legos we had helped drive kind of what our storyline was going to be. At one point, our characters, get on a boat and sail out to an island, which we hadn't even thought of until we found the boat, and we thought, gosh, what a great romantic date. So we knew we wanted them to date and wanted him to pick her up and go on a date, and this kind of, the materials helped tell the story once we found those. So, so in terms of some of the logistics too, we started off with a green screen and thought we could put some sky in and do some things that way, and finally we said, why are we bothering with that? It was just going to be a lot of work. So we hung up a blue backdrop instead, and we lit it. We tried to light it like you would light an outdoor scene. There's a sunset scene as well, and this was the light we used. We lowered it down and we put a red gel on it and actually shot it from reverse, where it actually looks like the sun. And so we tried to do as much just with practical lighting, like you would light a real scene. I want to show you a couple tricks here too. This is a slider that's great for sliding shots where you need camera motion. We used it in one shot. We use it in live action stuff all the time, as my cameraman trips over a box of Legos, believe it or not. But we use this slider. There's a shot that's at a wedding, and the camera pulls back, and this kind of helps us keep it steady as we pull back through the shot and through the attendance at the wedding. Now, this is really key if you're going to try making a Legos video. This is just the kit lens that came with our Canon T2i. It was really versatile. For the most part, I keep it zoomed in all the way. It's a 135mm lens. I tried a 200mm lens too, but it wouldn't let me focus getting up close enough. So the trick is you got really miniature guys, but you got to be able to focus. That's what a macro lens does. It lets you focus on really small objects. Well, the problem is we don't have any macro lenses. We've got 4 or 5 lenses we tried. None of them are macro lenses. So this one I'd pull back and zoom in all the way, and I could get them in focus and frame it up pretty good. But what about those big close-ups on their faces? Well, here's a neat trick you can try. This is a normal 50mm lens, okay? And what you can do is you can take a normal 50mm and you can flip it around and hold it in front of your camera, and it becomes this super macro. And so you got to put the lens like right up on the Legos, but you can get super close-ups on their faces. You can buy these cheap little screw-on adapters. This is like $3. To make it a little bit easier, if you don't want to hold the lens, you can just do this, and then it screws on. Now, what you lose, though, is you lose aperture control and the ability to focus. The only way to focus is to move it in further and closer. So you lose a lot of control, but you're getting those super close-ups. It's not the ideal way to do it, but it really worked in a pinch. So it's a neat little trick. If you ever need a super macro of something really small, try flipping a lens around. We had to custom make the bridal veil for our bride, Valerie Nass. Thank you very much. And what we learned is glue dots are your friend. These little glue dots here that come in rolls of paper, we use them to stick the bridal veil on her, and then when he is carrying her across the threshold, there's no easy way to do that with Legos without using a little bit of glue. So we kind of cheated a little bit there. Glue dots became a big friend of ours. You know, it's possible to tether a camera to a computer and capture directly to the computer, and we started out trying to do that, and then I realized you can actually just play your shots back on the viewfinder of the camera and get a pretty good idea of what the animation is going to look like. And so I quit tethering to the computer and would just do this, and that way I can kind of preview my shots, look at them, and see how it turned out, and then just dump all the files to the computer later. So you really don't even need a computer when you're doing the shooting. If you just hold down the playback and let it scroll through them, you can do that and do a pretty good job at it. Made it a lot easier. As far as the editing goes, we edited it in After Effects, and there's some pretty simple tools, but the main one is you can line up all of your images on a timeline, and then you can set them all to be 4 frames or however many frames you want. If you select all of those layers, you can go to automate the keyframes, and it's called Sequence Your Layers, and it'll just automatically spread them out. And so that's the easiest way to do it, and that's what we've done with all of these shots. And so that's kind of how we built it. So we're gonna get some still shots later of a bunch of other Legos for some still media campaign of Legos dating, Legos falling in love, and a lot of stuff like that. So this is what I get to do at work, is play with Legos. It's pretty fun.